For another episode of Coffee Talk, number 499. And it is right at 7 o'clock, Sunday evening, September the 7th, 2025. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow is another work week. And it has been raining here. I took a couple of shots of the rain at my front and the back, and I may wind up posting them as shorts. Melinda Elliott, hello, young lady. Thank you for coming. I hope things are well for you in Louisiana. Uncle Al, Die Bullfrog 79, and Margie TV. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Margie, I hope you're having a wonderful Monday morning over on your side of the world. Margie has a wonderful channel, a lot bigger than my channel, and a beautiful young lady. And she is a parent, and she supports herself, and she supports her child. I don't know if she has more than one. I know she's got a daughter, beautiful young lady, and puts out a lot of exercise videos and dance videos, and very, very youthful young lady. And I appreciate her coming into my channel. Up next with Lamar. How are you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Let me see about giving you a wrench. Get into it. Here we go. Add as moderator, and as a standard moderator, you now have a blue wrench on my channel. Your next comment should be in blue. Enrique Trevino, how are you doing? I just got through taking a shower a little while ago. I ate a bowl of chili. I just got through drinking a cup of coffee. Oops, I still need to take my evening medication. I filled up my medication today. And it is what it is. It's just been a Sunday. Been a Sunday. 5 in the house and 5 likes. Well, Uncle Al tells me I need to do an unboxing. He's always saying, do an unboxing, do an unboxing. So I'm going to take my Haas folding knife. It's been raining today, so when they delivered my box from Amazon, they delivered it in a bag. So it came in a bag because it's wet outside. It's been raining. It was wet and they didn't want it to damage anything. So Uncle Al, this is an unboxing. If Myra shows up, it wasn't an envelope, it was a box. She's always wanted to distinguish that. You did an envelope. An envelope. Ugh. Two packs of cookies. I take them to school. I give them to my kids. 3 different varieties. My favorite. The kids seem to like they seem to like this one the most. Just bought 2 30 packs. It's like $11 for the 2 together, so it's like 60 little 2 packs of cookies for like $11. I give it to the kids as treats. So Uncle Al, I met my obligation and I did an unboxing. Holly Ivans, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in, young lady. Woo! Everybody left on me. I guess they didn't like me opening a box with a knife. But right now I'm showing 1 in the house and I'm showing 5 likes. Well, Holly, if you have to go, you have to go. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here with me, Margie. Appreciate it. Do not feel like you need to stay. I appreciate the fact you stopped by and say hello. I don't believe the numbers. I don't know. Right now it says I have 0 on my iPad. It says I have 0 in the house. On my iPhone, it says I have 1. It says 1. So I don't know. Now they both say I have 1. And it says I have 6 likes. That's good. I don't know. Creative Redundancy, how you doing? CR? So right now, I'm getting ready to go in and finish up this notebook. What we're going to talk about today to get finished. Uncle Al gave me a few more notes. And then next Friday we'll do the 500th live stream. And we'll figure out who qualifies for the drawing, which I'll do this next weekend. I'll do a drawing this next weekend. And I appreciate all my support. Everybody who supports me, I appreciate it. I try to give back, and I try to show my appreciation for those who spend time with me. It's like therapy. I have people who call me up, they want to talk, and it's like I do therapy sessions with them. I do have some psychology training. I basically could have had a quadruple major. I mean, I have the required hours for a bachelor's in psychology. You have to have 24 hours. And I meet that requirement. But I did not get a degree in psychology. And I do have some counseling courses. I do have some graduate counseling courses, but I don't have a graduate degree in counseling. I do have 2 graduate degrees, but not in counseling. But I mean, I counsel with people, and I've been counseling with people for the last close to 40 years, you know, just talking to people. And my advice is fairly bland, and it's free, and take it for what it's, you know, worth. And I try to, I advise people the same way I would advise one of my kids. You know, I mean, I say the same stuff to kids that are not mine that I say to my own kids. You know, just it is what it is. 5 watching and 7 likes. Thank you. And I appreciate you listening. There's a lot in this world. There's a lot going on right now. A lot going on. One thing you have to understand is that, you know, scriptures, you know, hopefully everybody here is a Christian. But whether you're a Christian or not, there is a spiritual world, and there are angels and there are demons and or good angels and bad angels. You want to call the bad angels demons? You know, they refer to as demons. Um, and you know there is a struggle going on. Scriptures say that our battle is against powers and principalities. And if you believe what the scriptures tell you, um, the adversary of God, Satan, who's a fallen archangel who tried to the first coup that was unsuccessful, he basically is the god of this world. And there are people who worship him. There are devil worshippers, or what you want to call Satan worshippers. And they'll tell you, they'll laugh, and they'll tell you some very famous actors, actresses, singers, songwriters, very famous people who are very rich, who have become very rich, and they'll tell you that they basically worship the devil, and that they basically made a pact with the devil for their soul. You know, it is what it is. Yes, and our battle is against those on the extreme left, you know, socialist, communist, those basically who have a history of doing bad things to people. Little Lone Prepper, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in, Barbara. You know, I will use Uncle Al, and to a lesser extent myself, as an example. We basically talk about bad things that are happening. You know, bad things that very evil people are doing. People who have agendas are doing. People who basically they're out for themselves. They're not out for you. They're not out for me. They're out for themselves. They glorify themselves. When they pray, they want to be seen praying out in public. They if they fast, they want people to know that they're fasting. Uh, Scriptures say, the Lord said, "Do not be like the hypocrites, who love to be seen." That love to be seen. When you pray, go into your room, pray in silence to the God who hears silent prayers. That's Scripture. Here I am talking about Scripture. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I did an unboxing, and basically what I did was I had ordered a couple of boxes of cookies that I give out to my kids. I also have some peanut butter crackers, little peanut butter crackers that I give to them. I have little chamoy suckers that they like, those little Spanish suckers. I've got a couple packs of those that I got. I mean, I give stuff to the kids, and you know, makes them happy. A lot of times they're hungry. Sometimes I feed them oatmeal. Sometimes I feed them ramen, depending on what time of day it is. They come to school hungry after breakfast. You know, come late after breakfast, they're hungry, and you can't really concentrate on learning when you're, all you're thinking about is what can you eat. So, it is what it is. So let me get into the purpose of the topic of the video this evening. We had questions that we were doing yesterday, and we got through number 6, and now we're on number 7. And then these are questions that Uncle Al had proffered to me to ask. Question 7, which would be, do you have a valid federal ID? Do you have valid identification? There's a big fight going on right now over whether you should show valid ID in order to vote. You know, most places, you want to get in here, you want to do this, you want to do that, you got to have ID. You should have valid ID to vote. Otherwise, anybody can show up, and all the millions and millions of illegals that are here, they can show up and say they want to vote, and you can imagine who they're voting for. If you don't have a means to identify who they are, so you should have valid ID. I have state ID. I have a birth certificate. I was born in 1962, and I do have a birth certificate, and I do have my state ID. I don't have a passport. Uncle Al's real big on passports because he says that the feds acknowledge passports. Also, you do need a passport if you want to travel abroad. So I certainly agree with anybody who plans on leaving the country or going out of the country, you certainly need to have a passport. Joseph Moore, my friend, how are you doing? Appreciate you coming by. I hope your missus and your daughter are doing well. So, Uncle Al says the answer is no. Most people do not have valid federal IDs. You need a passport or a federal tax stamp. Current birth certificates note if you were born after 1962, and I was born in 1962, if you were born after 1962, you need a valid certificate approved by federal authorities. And then he said, thanks, Obama. There was a big thing about the birther question about Obama. Is Obama legitimately a U.S. citizen? You know, that was a big birther thing. That was a big argument that Trump had with Obama, and pissed Obama off. It's about, he was born outside the United States. They say, well, he's born in Hawaii. Well, he was born like in Kenya, probably. His father was a Kenyan. He grew up. His mother had multiple relationships with non-U.S. citizens. She was sort of a nut and a communist, from what I understand. And he lived in Southeast Asia for a while. He went to a Sharia school. His name is Barack Hussein, which is a Muslim name, Obama. And well, I hope you enjoy your dinner, Joseph. I had chili with crackers, and when I got through with my chili with crackers, I had coffee. Just finished a cup of coffee. Number 8, not counting Social Security income, pensions, and savings, do you have real assets worth $275,000? Well, I guess I would count my house. That's a real asset, and it's probably valued at about $300,000. And do you maintain the goal of saving 15% a month or a year? Do you save every paycheck? Do you set money aside every paycheck? And if so, can you maintain that for 15 to 20 years? Can you save like that for 15 to 20 years? I tell my kids, I tell other people that I talk to, we get into conversations, and I tell people, you should try to save. You want a Taco Bell? CR. Hello, Dave. How are you doing, Yoda? Dave's moving up close to 18,000 subscribers now. And he is blessed when it comes to his channel and his subscribers. He has really hit on it. And he is hello, Rachel, mama of 4 boys. As y'all come in, please leave a like. I appreciate it. I appreciate the likes. Verna, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. 10 in the house and 10 likes. If you just came in, please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. I've had 12 people come in so far that have identified themselves. Appreciate all y'all coming in. Hey, Jerry Jr. How you doing, Jerry? You know, like to do a shout out to Catalina. It is her birthday tomorrow. Catalina Cabrera. Happy birthday, young lady. May you have many, many more. You are certainly blessed with a wonderful family. I already have. It's wonderful when you're young to have birthdays. When you get to be my age, you don't like to remember them. You do not like to remember them. And I tell you what, Dave, the only person in here whose channel is probably bigger than yours is Margie. Margie TV, I think, has got a little over 20,000 subscribers. I might be wrong. I think she does. I haven't seen Susanna Morrison recently, but Susanna's got over 40,000 subscribers. I mean, talk about channels growing. Blessed. I'm at 2,034. So it will be a little while probably before I have a 2,100 subscriber giveaway. But I do plan on doing a drawing for a 500 subscriber giveaway this next Friday, which will be the next time I do a live stream. I won't be doing a live stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, but Friday I'll do a live stream, provided that nothing crazy is going on and, you know, I'm here and everything. And I would sing happy birthday, but Uncle Al would say that I'll owe somebody some money for breaching some using some song, using the birthday song. That apparently you can't use the birthday song because you have to owe somebody if you do. You know, it is what it is. But I will tell the Cabrera family, or the Cabreras, that tomorrow Erica will be getting one of these cards, and this is a Baskin Robbins card, $25, showing my appreciation to a co-worker, member of my team, or we are a team, and maybe you can convince Mom to hook y'all up next time you're over in Victoria. Should get her to buy you ice cream. So back to what I was talking about. Most people don't save money. They don't have money saved. They live from paycheck to paycheck. And God bless them. I understand. I feel for people who are in that kind of situation. They can't afford. They barely make their bills. They barely make their bills. Oh, Suzanne. See, I talked about Susanna and she came in. Susanna Morrison, proud single mom. It is Monday morning over in the Philippines where Susanna is at. And she has a really, really nice channel. Puts out some really good content. She is a beautiful young lady and she has a beautiful daughter. And she is a single mom. I cannot understand how she is single. Probably because she chooses to be single. I would think that everybody be lined up to want to take her out. And not trying to embarrass anybody. Yes, copyrights, Uncle Al, copyrights. Copyrights. So 14 in the house and 13 likes. And continuing where I was at. The first thing I would tell you is you need to have money set aside for emergencies. You need to have enough money that if you were not working, you can pay your bills for a couple of months. Emergency money. You should have some money that you can have hidden at your home, cash, smaller bills. You need to have quarters. And like quarters would be like quarters, $10 quarters. I keep quarters. I give them to my wife. I give them to my kid. You know, use them for vending machines. Use them to get water refills. You want to go refill some bottles of water. Use quarters. Use ones. You should always keep a lot of ones on hand. It's a good idea to have ones. And you need to have money to pay the bills. You need to have backup money in case something happens. What happens if the bank's closed? You know, do you have food? Do you have bottled water? Do you have your medication? I just got through filling up my pill caddy for the week. I need to take my Sunday evening 2 pills I have to take. I take most of my medication in the morning, but I still got to take 2 pills this evening. So when I get off of my live stream, I will be taking these 2 pills, which is a sugar pill and a blood pressure pill that I take multiple times a day. You should, like they always talk about saving gold and silver. Well, you know, you talk about saving gold. Gold is over $2,000 for an ounce. So if you had like a 1 ounce little ingot, or you had like a 1 ounce coin, you're talking a couple $1,000s. And that's not something that you're going to be able to exchange and barter, you know, with if something were to happen. So what I would basically tell you, that if you're going to want precious metals, I would basically buy 1 ounce silver blanks, you know, and basically it's like a 1 ounce coin, like the old silver dollars, and they go right now for probably $36, $37 for 1 ounce. I don't know the exact amount. I'm not keeping track of it. I haven't been buying any silver. I have not been buying any silver, but you know, if you're going to save, and I would tell you to go have it in physical silver and have it where, you know, where you can have it locked up someplace that's safe. Crazy that you gave me right now. I don't know what I gave you. Anyway, you'll have to clarify that one, Jerry. So most preppers do lack financial stability. Cookies, oh yeah. Yep, I just wound up getting a couple more packs of cookies in, like 30 packs. And I just did an unboxing at the beginning of my video. For those of you who started my video, first 5 minutes or so, about 5 minutes into it, I think I did an unboxing and I showed, you know, what I'd got in from Amazon today. It had been raining, so they had wrapped it in a plastic bag, the box. And gold is $3,589 an ounce. Okay, I knew it was up there. So if you have $10,000, you can probably buy about 3 ounces, or right at it. A little less than 3 ounces. 3 ounces is probably about 10,500. It's a good idea to have money in savings. It's a good idea to have cash on hand. I would advise people. Try not to have large debts. Try not to have large debts. Try not to don't develop a large pile of unpaid bills. You know, they're just going to choke you down. Try not to do that. Most people have little or no savings. They lack 5K in cash funds. Well, honestly, I have on occasion had a couple of $1,000s in 20s that I've had with me. Like I would go and cash my check, or my check would be deposited, and I'd go and say, $1,000, like $1,000, please. And they'll give me a few hundreds, and they give me 20s. And I really don't, I took $1,000 out this last week, and I had some work done. I used cash. Somebody went and bought some parts, and then did some repairs, and wound up pulling out $1,000. Sometimes you go to the bank and they have a hard time giving you the money. Yeah, you can get quarter size and dime size gold pieces you can get denominations less than an ounce. You can do that. You're still talking about a lot of money. Whereas, like I said, silver, you get a one ounce silver blank, it's going to be about $36, $37. I don't know exactly. It might be a little more, it might be a little less, depends on circumstances. But I like silver. I like silver. If you haven't done so, please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. So Uncle Al says you should have a secondary bank. Like educators usually have accounts at credit unions. I do most of my banking. I've had a bank where I used to work. There's a bank, in Walmart, and I worked in Walmart for 3.5 years after I retired. I used to be a team lead over at my market store, less than a mile from here. And I would have automatic deposit. They'd pay me and it'd go directly to the bank, and it was open 7 days a week. And if I wanted to, now they're only open, they don't open on Sunday now, they started closing, but they used to be open 7 days a week. So I would go over, if I need money, I'd go over to Walmart and I get my money. Then it's also a good idea to have see, I'm an educator, so having a teacher's credit union. That would be the second one. SD Mountain Man, how are you doing? Scott? Uncle Al is trying to get everybody to buy gold. And to tell you truthfully, I do have some gold coins that I inherited. I do have a few gold coins that I inherited, and they're all smaller size coins. And they're all old. They were minted a long time ago, the dates on them. But I do have a few. Jewelry grade silver bars are $190 an ounce. I don't know about that, Uncle Al. You get a silver blank that's 99.9999 troy ounce, and I'd have to look it up, but I think you're somewhere around $36, $37. It's probably gone up a little bit. Maybe it's 40. I don't know. But I don't think it'd be 190. Now, what you're talking about, I don't know what you're talking about from the standpoint of, I don't know as much about that, I'm sure, as you do. You know a lot more about that than I do. Number 10, all preppers need a combat weapons course. You need to know how to shoot a gun. You need to know how to clean your gun. You need to know how to load your gun and unload your gun and break your gun down. And then you also need to know how to defend yourself from the standpoint, moving targets. And basically, you need to be able to know what concealment is. A wooden fence. Bushes are not concealment. You're not going to block a bullet coming through, hitting you. It's shooting at paper targets is unacceptable. I shoot just to shoot. It's been a while since I've done it, but I mean, I would shoot just to shoot, just to practice with my, accuracy, basic shooting with a pistol or with a shotgun, such. Yeah, cover versus concealment. Yes. Real targets move and shoot back. Real targets move and shoot back. A typical prepper will get shot and killed in the first 10 seconds, quite possibly, especially if you're older, slow, overweight. You don't move as fast. You're a sitting target or a standing target. If you're not, if you don't have good cover to where they can't penetrate you, then you're not going to make it. Standing still, not taking proper cover. Bushes and wood fences don't stop bullets. Wasting ammunition. I like when I would go and I would go out and target practice. I like 22s. The ammunition's inexpensive. So I like to basically plink with the 22, shoot at targets and such, target shoot. And then like with a 9mm or 380 or with 357 Magnum, and I usually shoot, I usually will use a plus P ammunition. I practice with that. I'll only shoot a few. I'll only shoot a few rounds, like maybe one clip through a semi-automatic pistol. I'll basically practice with my 22, and then before I finish, I'll go ahead and shoot a magazine through my 9mm, my 380, or I'll shoot. I've got a 6-shooter, and I've got a couple of speed loaders, and I'll basically shoot those. That way I'm used to it. I stay used to it. But I don't blow lots of ammunition. My daughter's the one that uses a lot of 9mm. I'll give her 3 or 4 boxes, and she goes to the firing range and she'll blow 3 or 4 boxes of ammunition. So the official Sunday topic. Let's get through these Sunday topics. Number 1, a typical American diet. Uncle Al's attacking the American diet. Lacks these nutrient-dense foods in their diet. Well, for one thing, Americans are meat and potatoes. That's what we're meat and potato. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. Meat and potatoes. But I do love my salads. And I tell you what, I get a good salad at school sometimes. They make some really good salads. Like you put an egg in it, or put like 5 or 6 cherry tomatoes, and carrots and all sorts of good stuff in it, But Uncle Al says we don't eat enough vegetables. So like broccoli, you should eat 2 heads a week. Cauliflower, 1 head a week. Celery, a stalk a week. onions and garlic, eggplant, zucchini, um, radishes, kale, 2 bunches a week, bell peppers, carrots, spinach, asparagus, tomatoes, cabbage, 2 heads a week. Compared to the rest of the world, less than 2 pounds of these vegetables are eaten daily by Americans and vegans. A typical Asian and African diet, they're high in vegetables. Well, for one thing, meat's expensive and they can't afford the meat. So of course they eat vegetables. Fish is very good for you, eating fish. Chicken. Chicken's good for you. Better, it's technically fish and chicken are better than red meat or pork. Europeans, Middle Easterners, and American diets are meat, starch, and sugar based. And that's true. Meat, starch, and sugar based. I made pork ribs yesterday and had leftovers, and the wife ate some pork ribs today. I ate chili, but she had pork ribs with rice, leftovers. Second topic, 5 things missing in a first aid kit. I'm going to be going through update training, first aid update training. It's Friday. It's coming Friday all day to renew my card, and my card is valid, but I mean the nurse wants to. I'm on the MERT team, and medical emergencies. So she wants everybody in the same on board the same thing. So she wants us to update her training. So I'll be doing that this coming Friday. 5 things missing in a first aid kit: ace bandage rolls, number 3 size safety pins, travel shears, regular scissors, can't hack it with some shears, triangular bandages, and baby shampoo. Yep. Mike Crusher Reviews. Hello, Mike. How you doing? Third topic. Maintenance for the fall. Maintenance for the fall. Car maintenance. You know, you get into winter weather. You want to make sure that you have basically make sure that your engine's not going to freeze up. You want to check your radiator. Make sure you've got good radiator fluid. Flush it out. Put new radiator fluid in it. Always good to do that. You got to maintain your vehicles every 3,000 miles or 3 months. You should be getting your oil changed. Check your tire pressure. Make sure you keep your tank fairly full and have like a 1 gallon spare. I'd have a gallon of water and I'd have a gallon of gasoline in trunk. Have motor oil, your fluids and such. You keep a little spare fluids, the stuff that you use. Solar maintenance. One thing I will tell you is that this is like battery for my travel trailer. They don't like the extreme cold, so you do not want to leave them out in the freezing weather. It's bad for the battery, especially like if you're using lithium iron. You don't want them. You don't want them to get below freezing. So you want to make sure that they're inside. Fireplace maintenance. Do you have your fireplace checked? Do you have somebody come in and check your fireplace? Make sure that there's no blockage. That you know that the air flows. To clean it out. You can stick a long hose up it and clean it out, suck it out. Safety maintenance. Plumbing and electrical maintenance. Periodically, that water heater, you need to drain it. You gotta drain the water heater. Make sure that all your breakers are working, your electrical breakers. Important stuff. Important stuff. I will be having a 500th live stream giveaway next Friday. I will have my 500th live stream. And I will wind up doing a drawing for a nice goodie box. My 500th live stream giveaway. In order to qualify, basically the last 5 live streams that I've done during the live stream, you came in during the live stream, left comments, hopefully left me a like, but I take note of who came in and left me comments. And we're not talking after the fact, we're talking about during the live stream. You do that for all 5 and you'll be in the drawing. And I anticipate probably 10 people or so that'll be in the drawing, so pretty good odds. You know, there's some people who have missed. And like this evening, I've had 16 people come through so far. Dead raccoons in the fireplace chimney. Well, you'd smell that. If they were able to do that, you'd smell that. I've got wiring. There's wire, so that's not going to happen. Get up on the roof and check it. You know, they're not going to come down through the chimney. Anything dead, you tend to smell. So, a little update on the wife. My wife has another medical appointment tomorrow. She's got to go in tomorrow morning to her GP. Wednesday, she's got to go see her surgeon, the one who did her surgery recently. She went and had some testing done, went to the doctor, one of the doctors, and had some testing done Friday. Had to go to the hospital. So she is recovering. She's still moving a little slower than normal, still in some pain. The SSD eats them. He keeps a case of roadkill helper on hand. Helps your roadkill make a great meal. Da-dum. Now that's a joke. Hopefully everybody got a laugh out of that one. Roadkill helper? Yeah, it will take a while for her to heal. They put mesh in her. They opened her up. She's got probably 100 or more stitches and staples in her. going to be not going to be fun taking them out. Stitches don't hurt coming out. Staples do. They pull. You'll feel those staples coming out when they go to remove the staples. So I'm using my swivel, moves up and down, all sorts of good stuff, right there in front of my mount on my iPad. And I'm looking at what people are saying on my iPhone. I gotta go to bed early, gotta get up early. Tomorrow I have a work, new week. Friday we will not have schools. The way my school is that every other Friday we have training. The kids have the day off and we have training. My training so far have not been school related. It's been, I did one for restraint training, for emergency and physical restraint training. Did one a couple weeks ago for that one. Then I'm doing first aid training. Get my first aid card updated. That's coming up this Friday. I'll be having emergency training for security purposes coming up. On the security, I guess you'd say, team. If something happens, be involved with that. It's a benefit where I'm at. There's several retired principals that that are teaching now, that are working on my campus. So we were former administrators and principals and such. So that's just you're involved with stuff. And it's the way it is. I'm involved and I help where I can help. Hey, you be safe in your travels, SD. Appreciate you, Scott. Yeah, there are training for school shootings and because of school shootings and such. We all have cards that we put in front of a scanner in order to open doors. In order to open doors. And just trying to take care of what I need to take care of. Take care, Scott. But when I go to bed at night, I try to I think about how things are going. I try to calm myself, try to focus, and you can't, when your mind is running, you can't go to sleep when your mind is running. You basically have to decompress. I go to bed early. I get up early. When I get up, I have a routine that I go through. Same way I have a routine when I go to bed. And I'll probably drink a glass of milk before I go to bed. I usually drink a glass of milk. Sometimes I eat cereal, but I'll drink a glass of milk. I don't really feel like I eat cereal this evening. And I will well, that is true. And there are people that are designated to carry weapons on my campus. Not everybody knows who they are, but there are a couple of people beyond our SRO that are allowed to carry weapons. I'm pretty sure they're carrying concealed. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I don't know that I would want that responsibility. Yeah, you have to focus on what you can do. You have to secure yourself. You know, when you go before you go to bed in the evening, you check your doors, make sure everything's locked. Um, you should have some sort of weapon. Uncle Al's always talked about knives, and he likes to talk about weapons and knives and such. This is a knife. This is actually a bayonet. Uncle Al's not the only one that has knives. That was actually a gift from a friend of mine. It's a bayonet for an assault rifle. Oh, I probably scared YouTube with that one. You can't show a knife. I showed a knife. Okay. Hopefully it does. They don't, want to ban me. Oh, gotta do a, gotta do an extreme advisory. He's one of those people that. So people get these little warnings about me, and gotta watch out for his content. Hey, take care, Vern. I appreciate you coming by. Appreciate you coming in. If you haven't had a chance to, go by Verna's channel when she does her live streams. Usually in the morning. She does hers in the morning. I do mine in the evening. She's got a good channel. Puts out good content. She's a dog lover. You know, you gotta love us dog lovers. We have dogs. Our fur babies. So anyway, I will go to work tomorrow, and I will try to get done what I need to get done. I'm behind. I stay behind. They're constantly finding things that were done wrong last year that need to be done or redone, or paperwork that needs to be redone. My boss is frustrated. I'm frustrated. You know, trying to get paperwork out to teachers. One of the things I do, in addition to being the inclusion teacher for the special ed kids, is I'm also the credit recovery teacher. So I've got kids who failed classes who are regular students who come to me for credit recovery. And sometimes I help out keeping kids at lunchtime for lunch detention, or they want to put them in for a part of a day for like an ISS. So sometimes I'm like the ISS, when the ISS person's having to cover classes or whatever. They don't have anybody in ISS and they need to put somebody in, so they'll send them over to me. I mean, I do whatever. I do what I'm asked to. I'm a team player. I do what I'm asked to. I try to take care of my business. I try to support my boss and do the right thing. And I believe in leading by example. And I was a leader for a number of years, and now I'm, in a teaching position. Every once in a while, I get the crazy idea I might go back into administration, but you think about it, so I wouldn't be making that much more money than I'm making now, and I put a lot more hours in. You got to think about all that. But I've got to work a few more years, and while I work, I'm paying bills. I'm buying stuff that I need to have, getting my travel trailer paid off, and beginning a truck paid off, new truck. And I understand I will be finishing at the top of the hour. So when I wake up in the morning, I thank God for the day. Getting old. Take care, Uncle Al. I thank God for the day. I take my medication, drink my coffee, get cleaned up, have my shower, get dressed. And thank you, KP. Appreciate you. Please leave a like to support the channel. everybody, I appreciate you guys. I am, I guess what you call a prepper, old school prepper. I thank you, KP. I treat people the way I want to be treated. I try to lead by example. I say my daily prayers, Lord's Prayer. Try to get right. I go about my business, take care of my business. Stay out of trouble. Watch your driving. Don't speed. Take your medication. Try to eat healthy if you can. And everybody, I'll be back this coming Friday for my 500th live stream, and I'll be doing the 500th live stream giveaway. So hopefully I'll see you there. And everybody have a blessed week. I'll try to put out 1 or 2 shorts every day. Take care. Appreciate everybody. I enjoyed this one. It was a nice one. Hopefully you enjoyed the topic or topics. Everybody, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.